Welcome back to Kingdom Cast. This is your host, Bad Little Chuck. We are back with another episode of Kingdom Cast. As everyone knows, the boys are back in St. Joe. As quarterbacks and the rookies official report today in St. Joseph, Missouri. Let's go and get the introductions out the way. To the top right-hand corner is my guy, Country. To the bottom right-hand corner is my guy, Boogie. And this week's special guest to the bottom left-hand corner. He works with Fox 4 Sports. He's a sports producer, behind the scenes, behind the controls. My guy, Robert, Mr. Blue Checkmark himself, Rimpson. Welcome to this week's episode of Kingdom Cast. Robert, how you doing, man?
What's up, y'all? I'm doing real good. You know, I got my PS5 on lockdown this week. It came in all nice, shiny, and new. So, you know, I'm hyped for that. You know what I mean? Training camp is starting. Football is back. I ain't got, you know, times is good right now. Times is real good.
So hey, man, look. How long was the PS5?
I've been waiting on my PS5 since Christmas, bro. Shut the whole show down. I don't want to talk to this guest no more. We don't even have to be on this no.
Bruh, it was a tough ask, man. I'm telling you. As soon as, like, I have notifications up for when certain stores have their stocks back, and them mugs be gone like that. So if you're not quick with it, you're done. And I was one of the lucky few this time. Finally got it. I'm ready to hop on. Complain about this year's Madden, complain about the 2K. I'm ready for this year. I'm in top form.
Hey, I went to Minnesota. I was so desperate. I asked him to buy the display. I was serious too. I was like, bro, sell the display one. He was like, man, I've been trying to get it myself. I'm like, bro, I would give you 500
right now, man. And listen, if you're real desperate, you know, StockX, they usually be selling shoes and stuff. People got the PS5s up there. Easily, it's double, like 1,000. That's how my brother had to get his. He had to pay. The markup is real. It is tough out there. Ruthless.
Highest I go is 7, probably. That's probably the highest I go.
It's going to be tough out there for you. Even at 7, it's going to be tough out there for you.
Yeah.
The two things with the highest resale, man, it's like shoes and electronics, man. Basically, especially when it comes to video game consoles, it's ridiculous.
Shoe game is tough.
I don't know, them shoes. Bro, I wear size 13, bro. It's hard to find some shoes.
I imagine, bro.
Yeah, I'm telling you, on them.
It's crazy.
But sure, let's kick things off here, man. You know, after the boys reported, we got press conferences coming out. I know Nick Bolton and Creed Humphrey did their press conferences, and then the captain Patrick Mahomes and the head honcho Andy Reid for last. We'll start with Nick Bolton. Nick Bolton started out, you know, saying how excited and nervous he is at the same time because, you know, he wants to put on a good show in camp. You know, he wants to perform well and learn and everything. I feel like that's one of the guys I'm looking forward to seeing, man. I look forward to seeing how Nick Bolton flies on the field, how quickly he gets a grasp of the system and everything. I mean, so what are your guys' impression of Nick Bolton? Like, how do you expect him to do in camp in general?
Well, for me, I'm more interested to see how the relationship between Anthony Hitchens and Nick Bolton is. Because from what we've been hearing, it's been good. But under the scenes, we all know Nick Bolton is probably going to be replacing Hitchens in the near future at the Mike linebacker position. From what we've been hearing, Hitchens has been doing a good job taking him under his wing, teaching him everything, telling him to take notes, even telling him to take a TV to camp so that he's not bored, you know, when there's nothing to do and he's not reviewing film. So for me, it's going to be really interesting to see how that dynamic works and how they're going to be practicing together. That's what I'm going to be looking for anyway.
I'm looking forward to Willie Gay. I'm really excited to see what he do in his second year. I think this is, I wouldn't say a breakout year, but this is where it starts coming together. In that third year is where the breakout year. But as far as the linebackers, yeah, Willie Gay, the relationship between Hitchens and Bolton, because he can either play like Alex Smith or he can play like
Brett Favre.
What's that quarterback that didn't like his? Yeah, Brett Favre. You know, so it's two ways you can play it. He can either be a nice guy or he can be a excuse my French, he can be an asshole about it. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see how it plays out. Because basically this is Hitch last year, right? You know, contract-wise, and money wise. Fans never liked that contract anyway. So hopefully he step up and Bolton is ready to take the job. I mean, it's not no easy shoes to fill because Hitchens does a lot.
Mhm.
Hitchens really does a lot. And it looked different when he's not up there.
And not only that, Steve Spagnuolo expects a lot out of his linebackers. I mean, if you see Willie Gay, people were clamoring for him to finally get the start. And Spagnuolo was holding off as long as he can just because he has such high expectations for linebackers. And that's part of the thing Nick Bolton talked about. He didn't say what Steve Spagnuolo told him specifically he would have to do to start, but he told him the expectations are that he's supposed to be learning and gain that trust. And to do that, it's going to take repetition. So if we see a lot of that in camp, if we see him getting along, Steve Spagnuolo talking to Bolton a lot, Bolton doing a lot of the good reps, I think that's a good sign. But it's going to be tough for him to get into that starting lineup. Spags is going to be expecting a lot if he's going to be doing that.
You know, another thing people not really talking about is we actually get preseason this year. Like last year, we didn't get it. We didn't get to see the new guys. They didn't get the reps. So I think that'll be much better for him. Like he won't have the same curve that Willie Gay had because Willie Gay didn't get no preseason, no reps, no. You know what I'm saying? Like he had a harder hill to climb. And Spag don't like playing young guys either. So if he starts, that means he's been very, very impressive, in my opinion.
I mean, did y'all see Willie Gay mic'd up in training camp?
Yeah.
I seen that. Yeah. A lot of energy.
Yeah. You know what? It's that time of the year, man. I start feeling like country. You see him doing the highlights. You like, okay, Pro Bowl. Thirsty.
Man.
Hey, man, it's the best time of the year. Everybody's elite. Everybody's going to the Pro Bowl. Everybody looks great. You know, it's that time of the year. You think everybody finna be a superstar.
But man,
everybody got a chance.
Why Willie Gay mock Allen Wright like that, though? Allen Wright was like, everybody move to the other side. Willie Gay was mocking him. Now I see Allen Wright tweet something about, man, I'm just doing my job, man. It's my job. I found that pretty funny.
Oh, man, a moment of appreciation for the franchise coming back.
Oh,
yes.
Wow.
Yes,
I missed the franchise. What's up, Markel?
Snippet was crazy.
Markel, what's up?
Hey, the franchise was like one of the best things they did.
Yeah.
What was the other thing they did before that? What was the name of it?
Like when it was one of Kingdom Shorts.
Oh, yeah.
Kingdom Shorts?
The Kingdom Shorts or the in the trenches, inside the trenches?
Yeah. Inside the trenches. That was I love that show. Mm-hmm. That was the best one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm super glad the franchise is coming back. I had a little tiny cameo in the when they did the episode about the combine. You know, have my little 15 seconds. You know what I mean? But I'm glad that to be coming back. I think it went away last year because of COVID, probably.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
So the 1 year they had it, they won the Super Bowl. So maybe cameras on. Maybe Mahomes play a little better this year.
Yeah, for sure. That
snippet
was
kind
of tough to watch, though, at the beginning, of course. But, once they showed everything else behind the scenes, as far as, trying to figure out how to get back to that big stage at least one more time, man, and get our revenge season, So,
yes.
I enjoyed the trailer.
Yeah, this team has so many personalities. It's always great content whenever you get some behind-the-scenes stuff about them. I mean, think about all the guys that you can just get fights out of. Tyron, Frank Clark, Chris Jones, even Patrick Mahomes. He don't say nothing controversial, but just him talking is news every time he talks. Travis Kelce, Tyreek. I mean, all these guys you can grab clips from. Anytime you can get behind the scenes of that, it's instantly going to be gold.
So who's the guy that gives you the most? And I'm already saying it's Chris Jones, but who's the best guy to interview on the Chiefs?
The best guy to interview. So for as long as I've been in Fox 4, I'm one of the Zoom people. So I haven't been to any in-person press conferences yet, but just over Zoom, Chris Jones will give you a lot of energy, but Frank Clark will give you a lot more stuff to be able to churn out and give to people that people care about. Usually though, it's really tough with Frank because he'll swear in almost every other sentence, man. So you gotta do the bleeps and be careful that you don't put a D word or an A word or speak. He can't be speaking French on TV. You know what I mean? Or else when people come for you. So, but I really love Frank Clark.
The best Frank Clark quote is when Jesse Palmer or James Palmer or whatever was like, yeah, they said they got the number one rush. What do you say? Y'all defense ain't that good. And Frank looked at him and say, he was like looking over here, and then he was like, what? That's like the best Frank Clark.
It is a really good
my favorite whole speech, actually, but that specific part is like the best. When he was like, what?
Yeah.
And he cussed all through that. So
yeah, Frank Clark. And the thing is, Frank Clark will always say the right things to get you hyped up, man. I remember it must have been his first season with the Chiefs and he wasn't getting sacks. He said all the right things. He was just like, I don't get paid to do the things that don't show up on the box score. I get paid to get sacks. So that's what I'm going to do. And every time he speaks, he's just like, yeah, okay, we'll give you another chance, big guy. I hear you. Yeah. So, yeah, Frank Clark, definitely a fantastic interview. Hands down.
So how do you tell your media friends like this? Don't ask Frank Clark about the gun charges or the case or court. Don't ask him about nothing. He's not going to be able to answer it. He's not going to tell you nothing. You just going to piss him off. And cheap PR already want to cut it quick. So they just going, yeah, Frank's done.
Listen, man. People got jobs to do. If Frank Clark is going to say so, listen, you're right. 99% chance Frank Clark's not going to say anything that's going to incriminate him. It's not going to be news. But there's that 1%. He might say something that's going to be great. And you're going to miss it if you don't ask. And even if he doesn't say anything, that in and of itself is news. You can be like, Frank Clark has nothing to say about the such and such address. That's news. That's something you can talk about. And it's evidence every time you post something. Even if it's nothing, if it's Chiefs don't have a comment about such and such situation, everybody's clicking it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody got something to say about it. It's part of the job. Even if you're not going to get an answer out of the player, you have to ask. You have to. Okay,
that makes sense. It's just that fifth guy to ask. Like,
Yeah,
Herbie, probably Seren, and then somebody, and then that fifth guy's like, so yeah, about the guns.
Yeah.
Like, bro, what are you?
I know what you mean.
You can't answer it. Leave it alone.
That's one of my pet peeves is like, if you're not listening to the Zoom, don't ask another question, man. Because questions listen, man, them Zooms is so competitive, bro. You put your hand up, there's like a 5% chance you're getting clicked on if you're not one of the big, states. I'm just a producer at Fox 4. So imagine when you got 4 guys on the freaking Star trying to ask questions. You got 41 trying to ask questions. You got Channel 5 trying to ask questions. You got The Athletic trying to ask questions. So if you get a question, don't waste it. So if you're asking repeat questions, you're going to make me annoyed a little bit if you weren't paying attention. You know what I mean? So I feel you on that. Yeah, I feel you.
And don't ask about barbecue. Just...
Barbecue gets the clicks, man. I'm telling you.
Barbecue gets the clicks.
Barbecue gets the clicks. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you're right. It doesn't make a whole bunch of sense. Like, what's barbecue got to do with football? But Kansas City people love their barbecue. It's just in our DNA. If we see somebody likes our barbecue, we have to click and we have to say something about it.
And it's a big reason why. It's a big reason why we got the number 1 tailgating experience in the NFL.
Come on, it's part of the experience. It's in our DNA. It can't be helped.
Line up in the gates early in the morning and everything, dog. Like,
come on now. Come on.
Yeah, gates early in the morning.
Yeah, like there's a line. There'd literally be a line outside of Arrowhead Stadium.
I thought you said you eat like gates for breakfast or something.
No.
Whoa.
Like people just ready to get on the grill, dog. Once the gates get open, bro. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, look, pulling up on game day. If you've never been to Arrowhead, just driving past Arrowhead like 4, 5 in the morning, it's already lined up. It's already grills going. It's already people drinking. It's just a party at 5 o'clock in the morning, whether it's cold, hot, raining, snow. It don't matter. Like, Arrowhead is nuts. If you've never been to Arrowhead, you have to go to Arrowhead. And in order to be a real Chiefs fan, you have to go to Arrowhead and sit. You know what? You can sit in the 300s for real and really have a great time. Don't go to the club level because them people really don't watch football. I used to work there. They don't really watch football. The club level is bad, bro. Those are not real football fans. Like you might see Bobby Bell or the old legends walking around. But besides that, bro, they not watching football. It's too corporate up there.
Hey man, my grandma be working at the club level and stuff. She be saying the same thing, man. But she loves her football. So shout out to grandma. Shout out to Grammy. You know what I mean?
No, the funniest thing, I was working club level when I seen Bill Moss, and I interact with Bill Moss on Twitter a lot, So I was like, "Yo, Bill, it's like Country Boy," and he was like, "Oh, okay." And I went up to shake his hand. I didn't know he don't like touching people, so it was hella awkward. I went in for the handshake, and he went in for the pound. He did this.
Oh, it was one of them.
I was like, "Okay, Bill, I'll tweet you later."
Ooh, that's tough.
It was bad.
That's tough. He is not going to.
Then I added him later. I was like, "Dude, I tried to shake your hand." He was like, "Yeah, I don't really do hands." This was like pre-COVID, like way before.
He was ahead of his time.
He was ahead. Smart man. Go ahead, Chuck.
Well, anyway, let's go on to the next guy, man. Creed Humphrey. Two things stood out in his press conference. He talked about how him and Patrick Mahomes, they've already got comfortable as far as like the snapping the ball to Patrick, make sure that exchange is pretty clean. So, of course, continue to work on that throughout training camp. I think that shouldn't be an issue at all. They should be ready to go as far as getting that together. And another thing that stood out is, Creed Humphrey's been going to all these different camps. I think he went to Duke Manyweather's camp, if I'm not mistaken. That's like the top offensive line guru. And he also been getting advice from Mitchell Schwartz in the offseason, too. He's been doing some work with him as well. So, Creed Humphrey's already learning and getting his notes together. He's already wanted to become one of the best offensive linemen in the league. So it's going to be another thing that I'm interested to see, how he gets down the trenches.
Mm-hmm. And I think Nate had a tweet about it earlier, just how much Mitchell Schwartz is having his hand all over the offensive line. I think he's already talked to Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey and all those guys. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of influence he has, on this offensive line this season.
Why won't he just coach? He might as well. I mean, if you got a bad back, you got a bad back forever. It's never going to get 100%. Bring him in as a coach.
I mean,
or assistant or something. Like,
being a coach is tough, though. And, he enjoyed that cooking stuff that he got going on. He's got a lot of stuff that he wants to do as far as gym and stuff. And maybe he still wants to play. I'm not sure.
I think he still is.
Yeah, so if he still wants to play, maybe he's putting off coaching for a bit. I don't know. It's possible that he might want to get into coaching, but coaching ain't for everybody. Maybe you just want to pass down a thing or two. Like, if you're good at what you do, you don't always want to go in and teach a whole bunch of other people. You'll want to give pointers to some guys that playing for a team that you used to play for, but coaching ain't for everybody.
Yeah, coaches.
I can see him doing
hours, man. That's like countless hours of studying and looking at film and doing all that stuff.
He do that already, though. He do that already, though. You know what I'm saying?
He did as a player.
It's different, though. It's different, though, with coaching rather than being a player. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's not out the cards, though.
I can see him being a color analyst, or I can see him having like a radio show. I can see him doing like, how Tim Grunart does a lot of radio and all that stuff. I can see him like staying in Kansas City forever and being involved in the community and the ambassadors and all that stuff. Like I see him as that type of guy. So if he got like a couple more years of playing, that's cool. But I can see him being involved in Kansas City one way or another for like forever.
So doing what Jeff Schwartz does, basically.
Basically.
I mean, it's clear that he knows what he can talk about, and he can break down film really well. I mean, I don't know if y'all seen some of his tweets breaking down O-line play, but that's something he could definitely do that could be in his future. Maybe he'll want to start his own thing, just breaking down film or something like that, similar to like a Seth Kaiser or something, where he just breaks down O-line film and does it that way. I mean, but I think you're right.
And his live tweets, like when he was live tweeting the game last year, those were hilarious and very in depth too.
Yeah.
Because people be like, he missed his block. And he's like, nah, he was supposed to do this and this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need that type of knowledge because a lot of fans talk a lot, but we don't have the knowledge of what they really supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that a lot. Who else was live tweeting last year?
Who was Sammy was live tweeting for a bit.
Sammy was live too.
So, but yeah, definitely. Yeah, man. I think we'll see. Depending on how Cornell Powell evolves, how Mecole Hardman evolves, the Chiefs might be missing Sammy Watkins. So we'll see though. We got a lot to see come training camp. A lot to see.
Okay, so everybody says Mecole needs a breakout season. What would you define a breakout season as for Mecole?
A breakout season. I mean, that's hard because if you look at, obviously, if you're going to call it a breakout season, you're going to want to increase the numbers you had his rookie year. You're going to want to see those come up. And you're going to want see him solidify himself as the third option in this offense. People get hung up. I think you guys talked about this on your episode with Ron when he was on from Arrowhead Pride. Mecole isn't the second option on this team. He's wide receiver 2, but he's not the second option. He's third, maybe even fourth option on this team. So I think you have to keep that in mind when you're talking about him having a breakout season. I understand people want what they want to see out of Mecole because Mecole is right now what people think Tyreek Hill is. He's a really fast guy that's really good in gadgets, hasn't shown a lot when it comes to route running and breaking guys off. Even Tyreek, obviously elite in those things now. He's proven that. Mecole has to prove that now. You see the potential is there. You see he's an elite athlete. You see he has that elite speed. He just needs to prove the other things, the route running, the being able to get open. For Mecole to have a breakout season for me, I need to see some plays where he's either getting open by himself or he's making a play for Patrick. From what we've seen, the best Mecole Hardman highlights are him running past people or being wide open. I need to see some plays like something that sticks out of my mind. There are like 3 or 4 or 5 plays of Tyreek just jumping up and going to get the ball at 5 foot, whatever his height is, or 6 foot, whatever. He's one of the smallest guys on the field, and he's able to get up and go get the ball, even though the ball wasn't placed perfectly. I need to see some plays like that from Mecole, or a play reminiscent of the Sammy Watkins Super Bowl play, where he breaks off Richard Sherman and gets open and basically gets the catch to win the game. I need to see some of those highlights. If I see some of those things from Mecole, I would be more than satisfied. I don't care if you get even 500 yards receiving. I just need to see that you can. I'm saying, though, if he's able to get those things done, he doesn't need to have 800, 900 yards. He just needs to be able to get open every once in a while like Sammy used to.
Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and agree with Chris Style here in his little prediction. I think he needs to get at least 800. The touchdowns, I don't know. 7 touchdowns, I mean, that'd be cool, but I need at least 800. So,
I can see the 7 touchdowns more than I can see the 800 yards.
Absolutely. I can see him having a bunch of touchdowns. Though 800 yards is going to be hard to hit for Mecole in this offense, but those 7 touchdowns are definitely up for grabs.
Why is it so hard to get that production in this offense if we saying Patrick Mahomes is this great? This offensive mind of Andy Reid is so great.
There's only so many yards to go around.
Because you got Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, that's like that's
75% right there.
Yeah, that's 3,000 yards between them, basically. So you
They
got
should be able
like 2,000 or so to work with. I think Patrick clears over 5,000 yards passing this year.
That's a lot. I mean, and if he does that, maybe Miko could get to like maybe 800, maybe 1,000 if Patrick is passing for over 5,000 yards. But again, there's only one football, and you're only getting so many yards. And if you want the defense to be good, that means the offense is going to be getting the ball less. You know what I mean? So it's tough. You got to do a balancing act.
But are you really expecting the defense to be that good?
Man, it's going to be tough. We're going to need to see L'Jarius Sneed. We need to see him step up. Is Frank Clark playing? Because if he's not, that DN spot is getting really tough. I need to see Chris Jones play at DN. He's going to be taking some snaps at that position this season. I need to see how that's going. I need to see how Nick Bolton plays. I need to see Willie Gay take that next step. There's a lot of things.
You on two hands.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. This defense can be great, but there's a lot of caveats that come with it. There's so much young talent. You just got to see it develop first. And this defense can be great, but if they aren't, then it's going to be a little bit average, which is fine. You can win a Super Bowl with the average defense, especially with this offense. But if you're asking me how great is this defense going to be, it's going to depend a lot. And I haven't even talked about that corner group yet, because now you got maybe the best corner on the team. Well, second best, I guess, not counting L'Jarius, but maybe the second best corner. He left to go to Minnesota. So now there are a lot of question marks there. Like, is Charvarius Ward going to be corner 2 now? It's a lot of question marks on that defense, so I'm not sure how good it's going to be.
Yeah, if you're doing a scale, offensive questions are way down here, and the defense questions are way up. It's not balanced at all. It's a lot of questions about the defense. It's not a lot about the offense. The only question about the offense is how quick is the O-line gonna gel? That's about it. After that, they're cool. The defense, you got the linebackers, you got the corners, you got the DNs, you got, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
It's training camp though, so we got time. We got time to figure that out.
I think the Chiefs, they can at least be slightly above middle of the pack. I'll say that for defense. And I think that's definitely good enough to go back to the Super Bowl and win it this time, because you're going to see a few games this year. The Chiefs, they play solid defense, just so they create a lot of turnovers. And the way this defense is set up, I mean, it's still – the roster, the way it looks like they can still create a lot of turnovers.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And the defense play way better with a lead, too.
Yeah.
That's true. And Tyrann Mathieu, Chris Jones, they're going to make some plays. That's the thing about this Kansas City defense. It does have it has a great foundation with Chris Jones and especially Tyrann Mathieu. That foundation is really solid. So they have something to build off of. And Steve Spagnuolo as the defensive coordinator, they have a great foundation. So that's why you can say, okay, we're starting at middle of the pack. Maybe it'll trend upward. I have a really hard time seeing this defense being last in the league, especially with Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones on it. Something would have to go really wrong for this defense to be at the bottom.
If they top 15, we good. I'm beyond good with that.
Especially when it comes to the red zone. If we can get top 15 when it comes to just making them settle for 3 instead of getting 7, we'll be golden, right?
Yeah. Oh, did you see that stat that we were 32nd in red zone offense last year?
Yeah.
In red zone offense?
Huh?
You said in red zone offense?
Yes.
Yeah, it was a struggle that, especially during the latter half of the year, getting into the red zone, 20 yards and in was really tough. It didn't last for that long, obviously. Andy Reid is going to figure something out, especially when it comes to the red zone and figuring those things out. But like we said, the offense is going to figure it out. That's only a matter of time before they figure out what's wrong with the red zone. The defense is a question mark, and it's something that Tyrann Mathieu and Steve Spagnuolo said even during OTAs, that's their focus, is getting better in the red zone.
And that's what happens when you can't run the ball like that.
Yes,
we're gonna have to see something from Clyde this year.
Run the ball. We definitely
got that offensive line. We can power run now, like they were saying. We should be able and be way better in the end zone now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Harrison Butker shouldn't be kicking 40 field goals this year.
Right,
No.
big facts. Because we
Yeah,
definitely
I
had a rough
love
time.
Harrison Butker, but no, bro.
We had a
We
rough
don't need to
time.
kicking that many field goals.
When we was running the ball, we had a rough time trying to win the battle of creating space through the A gaps. You know what I mean? We couldn't run the ball at the middle like how we wanted to. So
Yep, there's a lot of things that should be changing come this year. And like Country said it already, the only question about the offense is the offensive line. How long is it going to take them to click? Because if they do, the red zone troubles are probably going to go away like that.
yeah, absolutely. All right, and then we got Patrick Mahomes. He was next up on this press conference. He was talking about his continued competitiveness, his competitive spirit as he enters year 5, being in the league. And he mentions how Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones, they talk trash, to him every day. Like in OTAs, and everything, offense going up against the defense and stuff. And he was talking about how it comes with the culture that we have in the locker room. And he says when you go up against guys like Tyrann Mathieu and Chris Jones every single day, and they talking trash, you kind of have to have that competitive spirit, or you're going to get dominated on the practice field. And he said he thinks it just comes with the guys that you have around you, and you don't take a day for granted. And he thinks that he learns that if the guys just put the work in, they're going to get the results. So basically, they've been keeping that culture, locked down ever since Patrick took over, and they had those guys, become the leaders of the defense. So I think, just based off them losing the Super Bowl, they're gonna come back with that competitive spirit even more. Like, there's a fire burning inside those guys, man. They ain't like how they went out like that in Tampa.
Absolutely,
As they should.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's obvious from what Patrick said that the Super Bowl loss still kind of bothers him. And also when you talked about the culture that the Chiefs had, I mean, it's pretty obvious that they're setting the standard, especially when it came to last year, when it came to the COVID protocol and stuff like that. The Chiefs set the standard. And that speaks to the kind of culture that they have, the cornerstone pieces that they have. You already mentioned Patrick, Chris Jones, Tyrann Mathieu. I mean, to an extent, Frank Clark is a part of that. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. They have great cornerstone pieces in that, and that's part of a great culture, obviously headlined by Andy Reid.
Like we said on this podcast 1,000 times, they sleptwalked through 15-1 last year.
Yeah, 14.
So
1.
14-1. I'm sorry. So you get them on the grandest stage of them all, and we got embarrassed. Let's say it. We got embarrassed. What more motivation do you need? I don't see them, bruh. It's gonna be hard to beat Kansas City this year. And if you beat us, you done brought it off. And if you beat us, I guarantee you're gonna lose next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tough test, even to start right out. Cleveland is seen by a lot of people as probably, if not the if not number 2 after Kansas City, they're number 3 under the Bills as far as contenders in the AFC. So, there are people that are coming up. The Chargers are on their way up. The Bills obviously are there. The Ravens. So, there's going to be a couple of contenders that are coming for the Chiefs' throne, so to speak. But like you said, if as motivated as they are, they're up for the challenge, I feel like.
But let me ask you this question, and let me counter argue what you just said. Every time we play a team like that, how do we play? When we play the Ravens, they rise to the occasion. When we play Buffalo, we didn't even know they could run, and they ran for 150, 175 yards against Buffalo last year when they played the Bucks the first time. When we played the Saints, you know what I'm saying? We rise to that level. It's the Atlanta Falcons games, and who else did we have a hard time beating that we shouldn't have?
The Dolphins game, that was pretty
The
close.
Dolphins game. You know what I'm saying? So Chris said, what was that, born? I'm born or
Nah, he's talking about the teams that I think he was talking about the teams that I was mentioning.
Man, we got a good schedule. Our schedule is always like the first 8 weeks is like hard. It's like the gauntlet is like murderer's row. and then that last week is just cruise until you get to the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's kind of a little bit different this year, but it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be a fun season.
Yep, absolutely. And you're right. Whenever, and especially an AFC contender is on the docket, the Chiefs show up to play. And man, that Ravens game early last season, where they pretty much blew out Lamar and the Ravens, that answered a lot of people's questions. That shut a lot of people's mouths because people thought Lamar was coming for the throne for the AFC Championship, and that shut a lot of that up.
How you feel about Lamar right now?
I like Lamar. I mean, obviously he has issues throwing the ball right now. Accuracy is an issue, but he's a once in a life. Yeah, I mean, but he's a once in a lifetime talent. That's undeniable. And especially in the offense that the Ravens have, they're hard to game plan for. Now, with the loss of Mark Ingram, I don't know how that's going to change. They do have J.K. Dobbins, so obviously they're not losing that much. But the kind of offense they run, they're super hard to prepare for if you don't have the personnel to deal with that on defense. So I have a lot of respect for Lamar. And if you're able to beat him, then I got a lot of respect for you and your defense. You know what I mean? I respect Lamar Jackson. He's an MVP for a reason. He's a top 15 quarterback to me, at least.
I respect Lamar. I think that we have a game plan to beat Lamar, and until he rises to the occasion, it's going to be the same result every time. You know what I'm saying? The games usually play out the same way. Like we get a big lead, then we relax, and he do his thing. He come back, he gets some lucky throws, or he get a good run, and then it looks closer than it really was, but it's the same thing. I think it's going to be the same way. I think, what's the meme? I took that personally. I think Mahomes feels that way about Lamar, Watson. I don't even know what Deshaun Watson going to do this year, but Watson, Josh Allen, and to an extent, I think he thinks like that about Baker Mayfield too. I think that might be a little personal because we was whooping Baker Mayfield before Pat went off. You know what I'm saying? So I think those guys bring it to Pat or they amp Pat up. So he's gonna show out in those games, man. I think every time.
I'm gonna get this out the way real quick. I don't expect Deshaun Watson to touch the field at all this year. I'm gonna get that out the way right now.
At all?
The field this year.
At all?
No, at all. I'm telling you, he's sitting out, bro.
Nah, he gonna play.
Okay.
They said he about to come to appeal. Agreement.
I think he's saying he's going to sit out because he wants to get traded. But I was on what you on, Boogie. I thought he said he was going to be in the cell or something. Like he's not going to be playing in the NFL.
No. I'm talking about just
bro. Hey, remember 3 weeks ago? That was like the talk of the town. Like that was the talk of the whole.
Where was he going? That's true, and now that's calmed down a lot.
Nobody talks about Deshaun Watson no more.
That feels like something that can sneak up on like a random Friday and be like, hey, by the way, Deshaun Watson got traded to not the Colts, I guess, but like the Titans maybe or something. Like
seriously stuff about the Eagles, man. I'm like,
we'll see.
Colts might sneak up on somebody this year. I'm not gonna sleep on the Colts.
I think they believe in Carson Wentz. We'll see if anybody can revive Carson Wentz, that Colts team can do it.
Yeah, and that coach, that's where he's at his best season at.
Yep.
You know, Frank Reich, offense coordinator.
If he don't get hurt, they can be double digit wins.
And that defense is very serious. That Colts defense is serious. So there's a lot of great teams in the AFC. And we haven't even talked about the Chargers really, because Herbert, he might take that next step. I'm not saying they're going to be better than KC or anything like that, but as far as being a tough team, if you got yourself a solid quarterback in Herbert and a great wide receiver in Keenan Allen, I don't know.
Listen, man, they talk about the Chargers every year, man.
It's different.
Got the talent, but health has not been on their side, man. So I gotta see it to believe it, man.
That's true, man.
Oh, that first week of training camp, 2 injuries, I guarantee you.
Bruh.
It never failed.
The Chargers have to be like the most unlucky franchise in the history of sports, honestly.
They up there.
Fire the whole medical staff. Fire them
Man.
all.
They talk about if anybody needs to sue anybody, Tyrod Taylor needs to sue the Chargers, bro.
That was crazy.
Bro, he punched her. Didn't he punch her his lung?
Yes.
Yeah, he got his lung.
How do you do that?
That was right before the kickoff, bro.
Right before the game.
We didn't know Herbert was gonna be in there starting. We was preparing for Tyrod Taylor, dog. And all of a sudden, punch your lung. I said, what kind of
Bro, if your doctor ever says oops,
like a barber working on your line, and you say oops.
Oops. Oops. What is oops? Man, don't say oops at the hospital. You can't say oops at the hospital, on the field, or the team doctor.
You can't say oops in the barber chair, let alone a hospital. What you mean?
Right.
So this haircut free, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me tell you something, man. But Tyrod Taylor, man, I gotta feel bad for him because he seemed like he's the poster boy for young quarterbacks getting in immediately. With Baker Mayfield in Cleveland, with Buffalo, Josh down in there. What's another team is on the Ravens? The Ravens. Lamar Jackson got his opportunity. Seems like he's the poster boy for that.
We're gonna start calling him the Bridge.
Man,
the Bridge quarterback.
Him and Teddy Bridgewater need to switch names.
We're not gonna call him Tyrod, whatever his name is. We calling him the Bridge. You are the bridge to the next quarter.
That's crazy.
You had a good career.
Chargers might be nice though, man. I like Herbert. I
do too.
I think he's nice. I'll believe it when I see it, or see it when I believe it. But I do think he's nice. But like I said, bro, the Chargers, every training camp they lose 4 or 5 guys.
Yep.
Every season they lose 3 guys off the offensive line, and they pick up guys off the street to protect their quarterback. Bro, it never fails. Like, they are cursed. That is a cursed franchise when it comes to injuries.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen, what was he doing to us that day? He was killing us. He had like 200-something yards almost. Tore his ACL, walking out the tunnel.
At least it felt like it.
It felt like it. But he was killing us all day. He was killing Marcus Peters. He was killing us all day. And then ACL gone, lost.
I want them healthy, man. I want a good rivalry.
I don't know.
Shout out to Chargers fans, man. Y'all got it tough, bro.
Charlie,
you say you want a good rivalry again, Bug?
Yeah. I'm sick of just beating them up, man. It's boring.
Hey, man.
It's coming, Bug. It's coming, bro.
You want to see more bus celebrations, huh? You want to see more tours around Arrowhead?
Yes, I mean, something, man. That's the clicks, right?
Yeah. Yes. True. Yeah. You thinking like a journalist now? Yeah.
He's right. Well, let's get to the last guy in hand, man. Big Red, Andy Reid coming out in style. His usual Tommy Baja polos. Tommy Bahama, my bad, polos. And, one of the first things he came out and said is that, the Chiefs, they are one of the more responsible teams in the league. He said they one of 6 teams right now. They're close to 90% of their players vaccinated. I know earlier Patrick Mahomes was talking about, the 10% that aren't vaccinated, he expects those guys to, be smart about it. And, for those guys to not affect the team. Because the NFL got stricter vaccination policies. They just came out with that. So, and another thing Andy Reid came out with is that a few guys, they're going to be rehabbing, at St. Joe. I know DeAndre Baker, he's rehabbing from injury. Juan Thornhill. Kyle Long won't be with the first part of camp, but he'll arrive later on. He talked about Malik Herring as well. He's going to be a part of it, but he's rehabbing from injury too. And then Andy, he also mentioned that, Frank Clark is going to be in camp. He's definitely going to be in camp. He'll be there first day whenever the veterans check in. So we don't have to worry about that. I guess it seems like, Frank Clark's situation, that might be something they'll handle maybe after the season. Who knows? So Big Red seems pretty confident in the boys as per usual.
Yep. I think what's super interesting to me, and it's more sad than interesting, but the fact that the Chiefs are one of 6 teams with 90% players vaccinated and then 100% staff vaccinated, unfortunately, that's going to be a huge advantage when it comes to the AFC. Like, if you've seen what the Buffalo Bills are looking like, it's looking like they might have to forfeit some games this year, man. I would just say that now. If one person catches COVID in Buffalo, they're going to have to forfeit a game or two, and that's going to be an advantage for the Chiefs.
Hold
And
on,
it looks
this
like a
one
lot of
person? I thought it had to be an outbreak.
No, it does have to be an outbreak, but I'm saying if they miss any games because of COVID in Buffalo, it's going to be real tough. Unfortunately, that's an advantage for the Chiefs. If your team is well under control, and it's part of that culture, they want to be responsible. They don't want to cost. They don't want to be the reason why the Chiefs have to forfeit a game or something like that. So when you're part of that culture and you're being responsible, that's an advantage, and it shows here.
Now, before all that stuff came out with Buffalo and a few of their players, I said that, I've seen all this Josh Allen hype, right? And I kind of bought into it a little bit, but looking back on it, a lot of Buffalo's games, a lot of fans were in the stands. Like, they home games, there were no fans in the stands, and the only time they lost is when they played us. So I just got to see how Josh Allen going to come with it, if there is going to be full capacity in the stands, because it's a little different when you playing in front of fans versus not playing in front of fans, you know what I mean? And now, with the Buffalo players, coming out and being concerned about the vaccination policy, that kind of equates to them maybe backsliding a little bit. Because I feel like Josh Allen could regress too negatively this year.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, even NFL players will tell you, playing in a stadium full of fans and playing without is a very different experience. So there is something to what you said about especially these young quarterbacks having to play in front of fans.
Because it's easier to communicate when there's no noise for real, but with noise, man, you gotta be able to communicate through all that stuff, man. It's tougher to communicate with your wide receivers and offensive line and your backs as far as like the protections. You know what I mean? So.
Are we gonna say
Who
people
got
that
vaccinated? Y'all got vaccinated already?
Yes, we were at Fox 4. We are essential news, so I am vaccinated, ready to mingle. You know what I mean?
I haven't got vaccinated. I've been thinking about it a lot, really, but it's personal. I don't care if you want to do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever. If I was an NFL player though, with money and access to health, like I can really research and do my, you know what I'm saying, and then come to a conclusion, then I'll probably be more for it. But like I said, like as a regular guy, you know what I'm saying, but I don't have no problem being in the house either. That's another thing. So
yeah, see, and
like, I'm cool with being in the house.
That's what Patrick. Yeah, that's what Patrick was talking about in the press conference. It's like even the players that aren't vaccinated, they're going to be smart about it. They're going to be when they're on the road, they're going to be staying in the hotel. They're going to be 6 feet apart. They're going to be masked up. And that's what Andy Reid was saying. He said, I didn't, advise any of the guys that are unvaccinated about what they should do, but I'm making sure they're being smart about it and that they don't get sick. And that was a huge part of that about, making sure nobody catches it.
Yep.
So
didn't the coach get fired already for not taking the vaccine?
They said he was late. They said they parted ways.
That's why.
Got to put that in.
Yeah, it's fired.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fired, man. Yeah, I heard about that today, man.
That's kind of messed up. I mean, I don't know.
It's tough. Okay, look at this from perspective of an NFL team. If one of your people that's unvaccinated starts an outbreak, you forfeit a game. You can't even. This is the NFL. You only get 16 of those things. You cannot afford to forfeit a game off of one assistant coach. That's not feasible. What are the Vikings supposed to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Go ahead, bud.
So what about the player that's vaccinated that still catch COVID? Are they irresponsible and all that too?
Well,
Chris Paul got COVID. He got the shot.
But the thing is, with the shot, from my understanding, it's harder for you not only to just catch it, it's harder for you to get symptoms, and it's harder for you to spread it. So as long as you're vaccinated, at least you're doing your part. You know what I mean? It's part of just being responsible, doing as much as you can to stop the spread. Like, imagine if they had COVID protocols and you out here just being in groups of people, not wearing your mask, not staying 6 feet, you're being irresponsible. And that's hurting the team. And that's bad. And that's essentially how they're viewing being unvaccinated at this point, I feel like. Fair or not, that's how they're viewing it.
Yeah. I went to Branson last week, and woo, it wasn't a lot of masks out there. My whole family had masks, but a lot of people acting like it's over. It's really not over, and it really might get worse. So, like I said, I've really been thinking about it. Like, my mom and all them are vaccinated. You know what I'm saying? So, I watch too many movies, bro.
Listen, and
I told you about the zombie apocalypse, bro. I'm cool, man, but I'm really thinking about it for the sake of my family. I ain't trying to get no COVID and pass away. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but I've been staying safe, like staying in the house and masks and all that. Man, I got one of those N95 masks or whatever.
Good mask.
Oh my God, you ain't catching nothing with that thing. That thing is hey, that mask is the truth. For real.
And the thing I've been telling people when they ask why I got vaccinated and stuff, and they're like, aren't you worried about the side effects and things like, and I don't know if this is getting too far into that, but the way I tell people is that the side effects of the vaccine, yeah, we don't know what it is, but we do know some of the side effects of COVID. And that some of that cognitive stuff is terrible. It's really bad for you. Any side effect that you'll get from the vaccine is going to be on steroids when it comes to if you happen to catch COVID. Those side effects will be much, much worse, especially if you're not vaccinated. You know, that's my personal opinion about it. Well, it's not an opinion, it's science, but that's why I decided to take it.
All right, I'll feel you on that. That's cool.
Who
else talked today, Chuck? That was it?
No. Nah. I was gonna say this, man. Like, you know, if you take the vaccine, just be careful. That's all I'm gonna say. Take the vaccine, just be careful. That's all I got on that.
Hey, but look. If you take the vaccine, that don't automatically mean jump back in the pool. You know what I'm saying? Just because you got a life jacket on.
You're not invincible.
Be safe.
Yeah.
You still practice your social distancing. You still wear your mask. You don't be all up in people's face. You know what I'm saying? Whether you get the vaccine or not, that's so personal. It's like voting, bro. You vote or you not. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I'm going to do. You do what you do. You know what I'm saying? But if you're not vaccinated and you coughing, bro, you know what I'm saying? Like, now, you know what the funny thing about this disease is? Not really a lot of funny stuff, but now every time somebody cough, it's like, bruh.
What? Don't do that.
Don't let it be like an ugly cough either.
Man.
You be like, yo.
You got everybody looking at you. Yeah.
Bruh. That's the funny thing about it. It's not a lot of things to laugh about. That's probably the only thing you can laugh about. Like, every time somebody cough nowadays, you just look at them like they nuts. Like, what is wrong with you?
We got a whole generation of people now that are gonna look at you funny if you cough weird. You know what I mean? So it's probably for the best though. Good.
Man. Catching like an allergy right now, colds, like everybody looking at you
dangerous.
Like nuts.
That's dangerous.
But on to the next subject though, because I know Andy Reid, he was talking about, you know, I can't remember who asked him this, but they said, you know, if Frank Clark does happen to be out, you know, how you feel about your defensive line depth as far as your defensive ends. And he mentioned old 97, which is Alex Okafor. They brought him back on a 1-year deal. He's a guy that's familiar with the system and everything. I know some Chiefs fans, they were disappointed that the Chiefs missed out on Melvin Ingram. Ingram essentially signed with the Steelers. I just want to ask you guys this. Which player would you have preferred? Would you have preferred Alex Okafor, who's already familiar with the system, or would you have preferred the Chiefs to go ahead and sign Melvin Ingram?
I think it's cool that Okafor came back. He already know the system. Melvin Ingram wasn't going to be no every down starter anyway. So they both was going to be like roll, third down guys. Melvin Ingram get hurt a lot, but so do Okafor though. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, pick your evil. I'd rather pick the devil I already know. You know what I'm saying? Than some random guy.
Yeah.
So I'm not mad about Okafor, and it's not going to change anything. It's not That's not the thing that pushed us over the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just glad he back. He know the defense. Hopefully he can stay healthy. Give me 10, 12 games. I'd be cool with it.
Yeah.
Give me 5 or 6, I'm gonna be upset.
The only thing I think Melvin Ingram will have over Okafor is like the upside, right? Melvin Ingram can be a superstar, or maybe not a superstar, but he can play at a very, very, very high level, when he's on. Alex Okafor, we haven't really seen that from him, but like you said, he gets the Melvin Ingram gets hurt a lot. So I think, like you said, Okafor knows the system. He's comfortable with Spagnuolo. If he can stay healthy, it's fine. I don't love the Chiefs' DN situation right now, but depending on how many games Okafor plays, depending on the Frank Clark situation, and Andy Reid, don't forget he mentioned Chris Jones playing a few snaps at DN now. He made a point to mention that, unprompted, by the way. So that's something I'm really catching my eye on, is that the Chiefs seem to really like Chris Jones at DN this season.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting, man. They're going to move Chris Jones around quite a lot. You know what I mean? Like you said, using a more defensive end, then, hey, stagnation might grow even bigger, with him at defensive end. So it's going to be interesting to see, because he does have the athletic ability to maybe get that job done on defensive end. So.
Yeah, if you tell me that Melvin Ingram is guaranteed to be healthy, I'm taking Melvin Ingram.
Yeah.
But of course, we don't know. But I will say with Okafor, I'm content with our DNs now. If he's healthy, I'm content. I think we'll be as good as we'll be a pretty good unit with him. He knows the system. We know what he gonna do. I think we're good now.
Hey, you know what? We should have kept Emmanuel Agba. We wouldn't have none of these problems.
Yeah.
Agba was a force. He was nice.
He had to get his bag.
He got it.
I don't blame him. You don't blame him.
Yeah.
You won
had
the
to get
Super
his
Bowl,
bag.
go get your bag.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was nice. Okafor has flashes though, and Okafor is good in the run game too. Matter of fact, on one of the plays he hurt himself. He had got a sack or a tackle for a loss or something like that. But yeah, if you can guarantee injury free, yeah, Ingram is the choice. But on an even playing field, I would go Okafor. He just got more. He know the system. I ain't got to teach him nothing. He can come in day one and contribute.
Yeah.
And I ain't got to worry about his knee falling off in the first game, like Ingram. Shout out to Melvin Ingram, man. Where'd he go? Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Yep.
I bet you $5 he won't see the Kansas City Chiefs. We play week 16.
Yeah, we play them late.
Boogie, you want that? You want some action on that, Boogie?
Yeah, we'll take $5 back. Melvin Ingram will stay healthy. Veach should have signed him. We got it.
Okay.
Lock it in.
All right. That's crazy, man.
That's funny. All right, so before we go ahead and wrap this up, man, I want to get to the last part here of the episode. The opening lines have been released for all 17, 18 weeks of the season, and come to find out, the Chiefs are favored in every single game this season. The closest margin what I've seen is when they play against the Ravens. I believe that's week 2. I want to say, is that a Sunday night game or a Monday night game? I can't remember. I think it was a prime time.
It's a prime time.
Yeah, it's prime time. But I don't know why the spread's that close when we've beaten up on the Ravens the past few years. So I think we can do it again in Baltimore. Now, the largest spread that I've seen is when we played the Raiders late in the season and at home, and they are 10.5 point favorite against the Raiders. Now, I remember last season we was a double-digit point favorite against the Raiders at home, and we lost that game. So that kind of concerns me right there. It's like, dang, the Raiders might do it again, because that's right before the Chiefs played the Chargers on Thursday night. So you got to account for that. So you never know. The Chiefs, they might go vanilla that game and save it up for the Chargers. You never know. So, and then
bet against the Chiefs on points.
Was that
still for the win? Bet against the Chiefs on points.
last year was interesting, man. The Chiefs, for some reason, they'll have a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. Then it's like, okay, we got this game wrapped up. We're gonna go and call the dogs off, and then they don't cover.
So
I hate when that happens too.
We talking money or what? I know we want them to win. Still. They favorite every
money.
game. Every game.
Yeah, every game. Chiefs are favorite. Every game.
I'm recording until I call in a minute.
Even in the, I thought you said the smallest margin was against the Ravens. I would have thought it would have been the Bills game where the margin was the smallest, or even the Browns game.
No, he said Raiders, right? Raiders.
No,
or
the Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens. That's the smallest margin.
Ravens. I thought you said.
What is it? 3.5. What is it? 3?
When we play the Ravens.
Yeah.
I think we played the Ravens week 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, week 2.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying what's the spread?
Oh, -1.
-1?
Yeah.
That's close.
So that's 1 point.
Okay.
That's interesting.
That sounds like motivation to me.
Yeah.
That sounds like motivation to me, man.
That sounds like money.
Yeah,
it was very weird. I was like, only a 1 point favorite against the Ravens? And we were beating up on them?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Is it in Baltimore? Is that why? Maybe.
Yeah, it's in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why.
Well, that's bad for Baltimore because it's what, at least 3 at home, right? You get at least 3 at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. At least.
So yeah, they even lost that advantage.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you're right. Considering that,
I don't know much about betting, so I don't know.
Hey, listen. Okay, I lose
We
plenty of money.
dice. We can shoot dice. 5, I bet.
I didn't know this was that kind of podcast, but okay, we can listen.
But I know the one other time they're a double-digit spread point favorite is against the Giants, and that's on Monday night here in Arrowhead. So, they should be able to convince
that.
I think they can destroy the Giants that night.
You think? I think the Giants might be better than people think. They got some pieces now.
I mean, they do. You got
pieces.
Saquon back. You got Kenny Galladay. Evan Ingram, but Ingram be dropping a lot of passes, man.
Yeah,
but keeping up with the Chiefs offense?
No, I don't think they'll do that. I don't know about all that, but I'm just saying it might be competitive. It might be more competitive than people think.
I like Daniel Jones for some reason. I like Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, man, he
coming out the East.
Oh, I don't know. I got to see some more. I got to wait till camp because I know everybody's money is on the Cowboys right now, but I don't know. The Giants might sneak up on even Washington might sneak up on some people. With Ryan Fitzmagic, they might.
They got a front 7, but we know how Ryan Fitzpatrick is, man. He's a pretty streaky quarterback, man.
I guess
he'll get on the road for like 4 weeks, and then he'll have that one bad game, and then it's all.
But at 7-9.
But in the NFC East though, that might get you. That might be okay.
Yeah, you ain't got to win that but 9 games.
People coming back, Cowboys winning that division, man.
No, I don't know. Washington defense is
hellacious.
Washington defense is top notch, bro.
Mm-hmm. Chase Young is that guy.
I think people sleep on Montez Sweat too, man. I think Montez Sweat is due for a breakout year.
Nah, you gonna know you play Washington. You gonna know you play Washington.
That is gonna be. That's one of the games I'm looking forward to us playing, dog. When we play Washington, because it's gonna be a battle of the trenches, man. They got a strong first 7.
Strength versus strength.
So that's gonna be a heck of a test. See how we hold up.
And I ain't scared of nobody.
Oh, of course.
No. Now, okay, you say that, but do you think the Chiefs go 20-0? Is the question.
No. Wait, no. No, I ain't going no 20.
Country?
Don't ask country, man. Don't do that.
If we 10-0, I think you start thinking about it.
Okay.
If we 14-0, you might as well go for it, right? At that point.
Don't ask country. I told you. That's what I said. I'm feeling.
I didn't say we was gonna do it. I didn't say we was gonna do it.
He just said he'll think about it at 14-0.
Hard. He thinking about it hard.
Yeah.
I hate you, dog.
3-0, he gonna be saying that.
No. Hey, if we 3-0 though, that means we beat Cleveland and Baltimore. Who's our third game? The Raiders?
I believe so.
No, it's the Chargers. Chargers are third.
Oh,
That's three
Now,
tough
I don't
teams.
think about it hard, but that's 3 contenders right there.
Yeah. And then if you go 5-0, that means you beat the Bills. So I don't know.
Look.
And then if you go 7-0, that means you beat the Titans and Julio
You want
Jones.
to talk about something? You want to talk now?
Man,
You go
I mean,
5-0.
that's tough. I don't know. Listen, the thing that would hurt is it's going to be 18 now, right? Andy's going to rest everybody. He's going to be like, okay, we're 17-0. We got our pass. Y'all rest.
I don't think Pat's going to be like, we got to go for this.
But thing is, it's the Broncos. It's the last game. So do you think the backups could beat the Broncos? I think that's in the cards. Chargers, no. I don't think we could beat the Chargers with the backups. But the Broncos and Drew Lock?
It's not like
Drew Lock be starting by then.
We did it.
Drew Lock might not be playing by then, though.
Yeah.
It might be quarterback 3.
It might not even be a quarterback. Remember last year they had all that guys.
Right.
Out.
Oh, guys, the NFL said, man, forget y'all, man. We know y'all not gonna make the playoffs, man. So
I don't know. That 5-0 sound kind of sweet though. That means you go 5-0, you in the driver's seat for the rest of the. You know what I'm saying? Like unless it's
absolutely
a major collapse, because you already beat all the contenders.
Yep. I mean, you got the Titans coming up after that, and then like you said, we don't get Pittsburgh until late. But other than those two, the AFC is pretty much wrapped up if you go 7-0, basically. So
yeah, that Titans game is right after the Washington game too. And here's the thing, the Titans, dog. The Chiefs seem to have a problem beating the Titans in the regular season, dog. Like, I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. It's always something fluky going on when we play the Titans in the regular season.
Yep. So, but you know, Patrick Mahomes, he specializes in breaking curses. You know what I mean? So.
But yeah,
that's a rough schedule, bro. That first 8 is.
But it's good
if we can pull out 6-2 out them first 8, I'm happy with that, bro. That's
the thing. The thing is, you get 2-3 of the tougher games early. You know how Patrick Mahomes is in September. He hasn't lost yet. So.
Right.
Yeah, being able to go 3-0 against those, that'll be super impressive. But he can do it too, because Patrick Mahomes love him September. So
yeah, Mr. September.
Yeah,
September to remember.
I mean, honestly, man. I mean, just looking at the first 8 weeks, man. I think the Chiefs, they can at least go 7. They can at least go, 6-0 to start out, and until I see them beat the Titans in the regular season, man. I mean, I think that's where the Chiefs fall. So I think they'll at least start like 7-1 the first 8 weeks.
We do beat the Titans. We just end up beating ourselves.
So what does that mean? That's a loss, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Damn. Thanks for taking the joke, bro.
But just to conclude the episode, man, I know the Chiefs. They're also involved in the 3 highest scoring games on paper this season too. So the highest point total I'm seeing is when we play the Cowboys in Week 11 here at Arrowhead. They starting out with 55-point total, and then you got the Buffalo Bills at home in Week 5, 54.5, and then you got the Tennessee Titans on the road at 54.5. So look, she's gonna be a lot of exciting games this year by the looks of it.
I think that Titans game could hit over 50.
That game's going crazy. That game's going crazy for sure.
Julio, play action.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
Yeah, I'll take 32-20. That's 50. Yeah.
That's 50. Thing is, though, the only thing I miss about having a bad defense, man, them games were so exciting. Y'all remember that Rams-Chiefs game? Come on, don't tell me you did not love seeing Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff exchanging bombs. Come on, man.
Listen, everybody.
Bro, that's one of my favorite games ever.
Everybody was scoring. It wasn't just offense; it was defense.
Come on, man. Justin Houston, fumble sack, taking it to the crib. Come on,
Alan
I miss them days. Come on.
You play with Madden on arcade mode.
Come on. Now all we get is
the best part of that game is they kept fighting regardless. They was down 10, they kept fighting, they was down, you know what I'm saying? They was down 10 like twice, right? It was just the back and forth, and they just kept going. They kept fighting. That game is, bro. That's one of the best games I've ever seen in my life.
Ever. Now all we get is the Chiefs scored 20 in the second half and in the second quarter, and the game's basically over, and a small comeback. Blah blah blah. That's boring. Okay, bring me back 54-51. All right, I need more of that. I need more of that action.
More of that. Yeah.
Trade away Tyrann Mathieu, trade away Chris Jones, and let's get some bad defense back up in here. We need a bad defense so we can get some 50 balls up in this. I need Mahomes to get back to 5,000 yards and 50 TDs, okay?
Wait till they add 18 games. Hey, wait for that.
Hilarious, man.
Those Patriots games was good too that year too. That was good too. That was that Monday night Patriots game.
2018 was a crazy year, boy.
2018 was fun, bro. I remember calling Boogie. We was beating Pittsburgh. I was like, Boogie, he real, bro. He real. He knew exactly what I was talking about.
That was crazy.
Boogie was a doubter, huh? He ain't believing Mahomes.
No.
Boogie is one of those I believe it when I see it. I'll see it when I believe it, guys. He really is that guy.
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, Pat nice, man. He cool. Then we went up 21-0, and I was like, Boogie. He was like, yeah, I believe.
All right. That's what's up, bro. Yeah. That's what's up.
Well, shoot, Robert, man, I want to thank you for hopping on this week's episode, man. We appreciate your time, man. You said you out there right now in St. Joe?
No, I'm not out there. Harold Kuntz will be out there tomorrow, so tune in. Yes, sir. The Kuntz man. Shout out. We'll be out there, so tune into Channel 4. Don't tune into Channel 5. Shout out to Denny, but Channel 5 is whack. All right. Don't tune into Channel 41. Shout out to Aaron. They whack as well. We won't even talk about Channel 9 because we know they whack. Okay. Tune into Channel 4. Put some money on the table. I need another PS5, okay? I need at least 2 or 3 of them so I can get one in the country. You know what I mean? Tune into Channel 5. Put some money on. Channel 4. Put some money on the table. Shout out.
The comments of Robert Rimpson are not reflective of the feelings of the Kingdom Cast staff.
Love it, man. I love it. Love it.
Nah, man, St. Joe is gonna be wild, man. We're going to try to get up there one of these days. When we get a date, we'll let y'all know. Definitely if we run into each other. Is Uncle D still up there?
You said what?
Remember the Uncle D place that we used to go to all the time?
I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, we got Charles a beer tower. He ended up throwing up. We'll tell that story next week.
Hey, nobody needs
Charles got drunk and ended up throwing up in the bathroom. We got to get into that story one day.
Listen, you already mentioned on Twitter 50 billion times.
You ain't mentioning it on the podcast, though.
I need this story.
I need something bad that day. That's what made me throw up. It wasn't a beer.
Yeah, whatever. Thanks, Rod, man. Thanks for coming on the show, bro. We appreciate you. You do a great job at Fox 4. We try to hire you as a producer, and we couldn't afford you.
You know,
we don't get our paper straight. We definitely need a producer. Yeah, the price of the brick went up. Nah, man, we definitely appreciate you. We definitely gonna catch up with you in St. Joe. Next week we got the great Nate Taylor. We got a lot to talk about with Nate. He's a great guy, our first return guest, so it's gonna be fun. So, Charles, take us out. Boogie, take us out.
Charles, we usually have one question outside of the Chiefs, right?
Oh, well,
I thought Robert was going to say it. I got it.
Oh, you know what? No. Let me do it. Okay, listen, bro. All right, I ain't going to attack you. This is a safe space, okay? This is a nest. We don't judge here, okay? We got your good friends, Boogie and Country here, okay? They're not here to judge you. I'm just here to ask a couple of questions, all right? That list, you had a LeBron James, okay? Players that you think is better. I'm not even gonna ask, okay, why you think those players are better. I don't care. Okay, that's not what I'm concerned
I
about.
want to hear that too, but go ahead, please.
I'm concerned about the players you left off the list. Okay, how can you leave? How can you leave off old buddy from the Wizards, Gilbert Arenas? How could you leave off Gilbert Arenas off the list? Give me your thinking, man.
Gilbert was tough. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, he never won a playoff series against LeBron.
I mean, what about Giannis? Is Giannis on the list now? He an NBA champion.
I mean, yeah, you can put him on there.
Is Harold Miner on the list?
He's off to a great start. I mean, he did something that LeBron couldn't do in Cleveland at 26.
Oh, come on. Is Drew Holiday on the list?
No, I'm not going that far.
Why not? He won an NBA champion. He was on that team. Why he can't be on the list?
Drew Holiday plays better defense than LeBron. That's all I'm gonna say. He plays like a football player. I can't really.
Was Jerome Kersey on the list?
No, man. Stop playing, dude.
What about Chris Middleton? Can Chris Middleton be on the list?
Hell no. And Chris
Come on.
Sure. How was Ben
Chris
Wallace
Middleton
on the list?
Ben Wallace is on the list.
This was on the list.
Listen, Chris Middleton, I give him credit for finally showing up in the playoffs, man. So I gotta give him his flowers there, but I can't. No.
What about
Was Detlef Schrempf on the list?
Yeah.
No.
What about Ben Wallace and Chris
Bro.
Webber?
Bob Pettit was on the list, okay?
Yeah, Bob.
No,
Bob,
you never seen Bob Pettit play a
Stop,
game.
man.
They
got YouTube videos on Bob Pettit.
Listen, they showed many clips of that series against the Boston Celtics. He took
How?
out Bill Russell. He took
They
out
didn't
Bill
have color
Russell,
TVs.
fam. He took out a Bill Russell led Celtics, fam. 50 and 25, bro.
Hey, bro, listen.
How
You
is
weren't
Chris-
even allowed to like the Celtics when Bob Pettit played.
Hey, man.
And we gonna end on that
Celtics
note.
now.
I need some amendments to the list, okay? I need to see that mug grow. I need some more players because it's the insult how you left out Gilbert Arenas, okay? Quite
I
frankly,
just
that's what
kept
I'm more
going back to it.
Wait
Come
a minute.
on, man.
Was
All
Lance
day I
Stevenson
kept
on the
going
list?
back to that list.
Lance
man.
Stevenson wasn't on the list. How could you leave him off?
Relax.
How could you leave him off?
Relax.
Come on,
Chris
come
Webber.
on. You put Yao Ming on the list. You got to put
Yao Ming?
Taco. You might as well put Taco Fall on the list. He's taller than LeBron.
Hold on.
That got to count for something, bro.
Hold on. You disrespect
Bro, you
Yao
had
Ming.
Yao Ming on the list?
Don't disrespect Yao Ming. Yao Ming was giving Shaq fist, dog, low key. Every time
Man,
they
if you don't
go-
end this podcast, man. We let Robert still love you, man, but nah, bro. Yao Ming, bro.
Yao Ming was nice, bro.
Hey, you put Rip
He
Hamilton
was.
on the list? You put
I
Rip
put
Hamilton?
Hamilton.
Come on, you gotta put Rip on the
You
list.
had
No, I-
Rasheed Wallace on the list.
Come on, you had Rasheed on the list. You gotta put Rip.
Nah,
Wait,
I nah.
Rasheed, I want you on the show, Rasheed, but come on,
Mass Rip,
LeBron.
though. Mass Rip.
I'm gonna try my hardest.
Better than
We
LeBron.
gonna try our hardest to get Rasheed on here, dog. We gotta have Rasheed on this podcast, bro.
Hey, bro, look. I'm going to tell you the truth. Lola Bunny got more buckets in Space Jam.
Hey.
That's what I heard.
Hey, low key, that's big facts. That is big facts.
I heard
Low
Lola was the
key.
leader on that team.
Come on. Hey, that's leadership. That's a point guard. That's real. Hey, look, put Lola Bunny on the list. You might as well.
Right.
Might as well, right?
Because LeBron didn't even want to make the clutch play. Spoiler alert.
Come on.
Bugs Bunny did, though.
Hey,
Bugs Bunny clutch.
LeBron James will never make that sacrifice play. All right.
Mark Price would though, right, Chuck?
Hey,
Yo!
hey,
Bro, that was
Hey.
disrespectful. That was disrespectful, bro.
Yeah, that's the one name. I'm like, okay, I might have went too far with that one. All right.
Come
I'm gonna
on.
take that.
Brad
Only
Doherty
got one.
didn't do it for you?
No.
Hot Rod Williams didn't do it for you, did he?
No.
Hey, you put Casey Jones on the list?
Did I?
Man, what are you talking
No,
How
I put
you
no, I
even
put
think
Sam
that?
Jones. No, I put Sam Jones instead of Casey Jones. No, I can't put Casey Jones on.
Come on.
I put Sam Jones on.
Oh, did you put Sam Cassell on the list?
I sure did.
Come on, but not Gilbert Arenas. Sam Cassell is fine, but Gilbert Arenas, you ain't put on the list?
Bro, Gilbert didn't go that far in the playoffs, bro.
Hey, Sam Cassell and pause. Sam Cassell and Fine don't belong in no sentence together.
But that's what I'm saying, man. How can you put Sam Cassell on the list and leave off?
I love Sam Cassell. He was a baller, bro, but no.
Yeah, listen. You gotta go back and look all these numbers, these films.
Man, shut
that,
up.
bro.
And stop dragging Dominique Wilkins into this, bro. Leave Dominique Wilkins alone.
He ain't do nothing but the slander that's gonna come his way because he on your list.
Dominique is by far better playing LeBron. What? That's not debatable.
I've had enough.
We've had enough.
I've had my fun.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen.
Dominique was the best scorer in the 80s, bro.
What?
Arguably.
All right. All right. I'll
was
catch up.
Was Kwame Brown on the list?
Did Kwame Brown make the list, bro? Did Kwame Brown make it?
Was Smush Parker on the list?
Boy?
Hey, Smush could have made the list.
School, boy.
Anthony Bennett, did he make the list? He could have made the list.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
Come on. The real Cleveland savior, all right? The real savior of Cleveland.
Okay, let's relax.
Okay. All jokes aside,
Chris.
did Wally Zerbiak make the list?
Hell no. What?
Bruh.
Y'all being ridiculous.
Come on.
He said we are, huh?
Y'all being ridiculous.
I'm gonna come up with like 20 more names tonight, all right? And send them and see if they on the list.
Anthony Taylor got to be on the list, right?
Come on. Who ain't on the list? If Sam Cassell is on the list, who ain't on the list, bro? At this point.
Ooh, hey, was Freewell on the list though?
Nah.
Come on.
What?
Hey, did Sue Bird make the list? Did Sue Bird make the list? Sue Bird. No.
Hey man, look, we are banning Charles from making LeBron tweets. It's affecting the podcast.
You got Bomani going in on us, man.
Come on, you got Bomani Jones. Your takes were so bad. Bomani Jones had to come out and try and say something,
man, listen,
bro.
Forget Bomani Jones. Man, that response was so weak from Bomani Jones, dog. Like, come on, dog. That's terrible.
Hey man, and
I
look,
blame Country too. I blame Country too because Country wanted me to plug the podcast. So much trash. It backfired. Now
I want to be the what?
Jacked up. Now ratio's jacked up from the last episode.
Them tweets with that was so damn funny, bro. That shit was hilarious.
Y'all hilarious, bro.
Chuck, you need therapy. We're gonna get a therapist to come on the show.
No,
we're gonna have a special show. Anybody know any African American therapist? We're gonna get them on the show. We're gonna do the podcast. We're gonna do Charles. We're gonna finally get to the bottom of this LeBron situation.
Shout out to the new fans.
I won't be there.
Man.
I won't
Chris,
be there.
if you know a therapist, please DM me a therapist, bro.
I won't be there.
I need a therapist. A real one with credentials.
And if you do good enough, you'll make the list. The therapist can be on the list if you do well enough.
Yeah, you made the list. You are the Black Chris Jericho now.
I won't be there. I guarantee you I won't be there.
Arm bar. Shout out to John Cena coming back.
Hey, shout out.
No,
look. I want to say happy birthday to my cousin. My cousin Iron Wings and thinks his birthday is Monday, I think. He's going to WWF or WWE. If The Rock show up, I'm running into the arena and I'm gonna slap him because I can't go because I gotta work for him. So
damn, I'm gonna be there.
Happy birthday, cuz I love you.
Happy birthday, yeah.
Happy birthday. Shout out.
Happy birthday.
We out though. Hey, I'm serious about that therapist though, Chris. Find me a therapist, bro, local.
I won't be there. I won't be on the episode.
You the one put the room together. You got to be there.
I guarantee you I won't be on the episode.
I bet you gonna be there.
I won't be on the episode.
You got to do it for the clicks, Chuck. You got to just.
You got to do it for the clicks, baby.
I'm good.
Got to do it.
I'm good.
Hey, Chris, tweet that. We gonna find a therapist. He said, "Pause."
Oh my God.
This ain't New York, bro. Tweet out that we need to find a therapist for Chuck. We gonna really get that cracking.
Whatever.
Chuck, you got to do it, bro. Do it for the show, baby.
Whatever.
Do it for the show.
Till the next episode of Kingdom Cast, we out of here, man.
Peace out.